the MotorSage. Today I'd like to talk to you a bit about a fellow I know who really exemplifies that sinners and saints label. It's a mechanic that I know and works on my car occasionally. He's a very special person. He baptized into Jesus and given the grant of salvation because of that baptism. He goes about his life trying to live up to a certain degree to what his Lord programmed or showed him how to live. So listen up, stay with me, and hear all about him. Did you ever notice that tires crunch on snow when the thermometer drops below zero? Did you also notice that dropping the truck into four-wheel drive on a very cold morning can make you feel bearing wobble in the front wheels? Flat spots on cold tires make the steering wheel wiggle, so you can hear the bad bearing pop in the cold. A guy named Zeke taught me that. One of the front wheels of my four-wheel drive Chevy rumbles when I turn. It probably has bad bearing. I go to the bus garage for my truck work. That bus garage is a special place. They repair all sorts of vehicles and they run school buses out of there. I like to go there even when I don't need repairs. garage reminds me of my own days of twisting wrenches. I learned I can get honest work for an honest buck, some free coffee that melts a plastic spoon, and a chance to talk some shop. The best thing is that the garage has parts buckets and piles of old, precious stuff just sitting around. They call it junk, but that stuff is busy treasures for me. I discovered real exotic stuff, a hoodlights from a 49 Hudson. Found a radiator from a vintage MG and some brakes removed from an antique chain drive Mack truck. Now the mechanics there are awesome people. They fix the stuff that rolls, crawls, rumbles, or carries children safely to school. They're old school people. I once had one of these magicians drag my Ford camper home from a no cell phone zone with the drive shaft unharmed, hung up safely using pieces of an old snowblower tire and a hanger wire. A guy named Zeke did it. Zeke was the guy who installed my tow bar on the front of the Jeep. Zeke is Lutheran. I tried to get him into my church. He was the guy that showed up at the local restaurant late on Sunday mornings and grinned because he knew I was going to bust him for missing church. Zeke showed me pictures of his grandchildren. Being a Christian made Zeke a little bit different than others in the garage, and I think he's the kind Jesus talked about when he gave the Sermon on the Mount. Jesus said, "Blessed are the poor in spirit." And Zeke fits. He was a quiet guy. I especially remembered Zeke a few weeks ago as I thought about going on a trip to Washington. You see, last week there was a anti-abortion march for life held in the Capitol Mall in Washington, D.C. But I couldn't go. My doctor said I'm too old to walk that long distance, and I hadn't had my checkup yet after surgery. But a trip there was important to Zeke. He was always concerned about the safety of the children, those who were born and those who were not yet to be born. The mechanics and drivers of school buses sometimes complain about rowdy youngsters, but the drivers I know at the garage would fight to the death to defend them. Zeke worries about his kids. You know, the ones that ride his bus when he has to drive. He knows all their names, where each kid lives, and he asks each how they were getting along in school when they get on the bus. He's the kind of people that typically transports and protects children, or would even march in a demonstration and shake his fist at abortionists and yell, "Don't murder our babies." Yeah, I need to get my bearing replaced. And I'm still hunting a flying horse Pontiac hood ornament, so I'll be looking through those junk buckets. It's a good place to visit, the bus garage.